Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back for another Legacy video here on the BoshNRoll channel. This one is once again from channel supporter Spunky, exploring Minsc shells in Legacy. And just like the one from earlier this week, this one's 4 colors, but that's pretty much where it ends. The last one I played was a Stoneforge Mystic deck built to sidestep Pyroblast on most of its threats, especially post-sideboard, full of basic lands. This is not that. This deck has one basic land in it, and a bunch of different land names, all tied together sloppily with Life from the Loam and Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath. You know it here. This is Loam Bant. This is something that I've been kicking around with Spunky for over a year now. It's a deck I took to the Legacy Pit Open last year, which is coming up in a week or so at the time of this recording. So it has been a full year that we've been working on this thing. And basically, the premise of this deck is you won't lose to Wasteland because you have Life from the Loam and Uro, making lots of land drops. You play a high land count at 23, so you always have land drops to make, and it helps Uro pay you out. And the big innovation back in the day was Field of the Dead, which at this moment I've tucked in the sideboard. This build is a hybrid of a build that Spunky came up with and a build that did well in the Legacy Challenge this past weekend. Field of the Dead in the sideboard is something I adopted from that 7-0 list from the challenge. It's not something I've considered before, but it makes a lot of sense. Field of the Dead frequently makes it hard to cast your spells in game 1. And it's not even good in every matchup, but the matchups it's good in, you really want it. And that sounds like a sideboard card to me. Makes perfect sense. The friction here is the Minsc, which is the big new piece of technology. Minsc does a lot of what Field of the Dead does in a main deck, which is win the game, which is something that Uro decks tend to struggle with in today's Legacy. Like every deck's got a Karakas kicking around or Prismatic Ending, Swords to Plowshares. It's really hard to connect with an Uro. The wall of Pyroblasts that every deck presents. The Field of the Dead was a sidestep of, while your opponent's busy dealing with your Uros, you're just hitting land drops and, surprise, now there's an army of 2/2s in play. Minsc just arrives, doesn't care about Pyroblast, doesn't really care about Prismatic Ending or Swords to Plowshares. We can shrug those off. The Boo will come back next turn. Doesn't care about a lot of the stuff that beats up the Uro. And it's a 4-mana Planeswalker instead of a land that takes 6 other lands to get going. It's just a totally different thing. But I can see matchups where you want both. And I think the split that I'd really want is one Minsc in the main with the Field of the Dead, and then a second Minsc in the sideboard. But because this is the hot new card, we're going to main deck both copies and see how it shakes out. Outside of that, we got Narset, we got Endurance, we got Ponder, Brainstorm. You know the spread. You've seen this before if you've watched this channel. This is Loam Bant with Minsc. You knew it was going to happen. Let's try it out. We're on the draw for round 1. The opponent has kept 7. This hand's fine. It's got all the colors of mana. It's got an Uro. We even have a pitch spell and Endurance if my opponent tries to go busted on turn 0. Let's see it. What's going on here? Mountain Shadow Spear. So we're playing in some kind of Saga deck. Saga decks usually don't have Blood Moon. I hope that holds up. Blood Moon is tough for this deck. Spunky's build had a basic Plains in the sideboard, but I had to use that slot for the Field of the Dead. We have basic Island and 2 Hydroblasts. We can play through Blood Moon a little bit. I mean, it's bad, but we've got a plan. This is where they cast Blood Moon. Okay, we dodged the Blood Moon. The second Endurance. Not really what I want, but sure. It's really scary they didn't play something on 3. Are they just going straight to Chandra Torch of Defiance here? Something that I don't have a good plan for. Oh, is this that Nether Void deck? That sucks if true. I don't have a good answer for Nether Void right now. There's a deck kicking around that's like Rakdos and built around Nether Void and not casting spells. Well, I'd rather see Chandra than Void, but it's still really shitty. You know who can keep up with this, though? Minsc and Boo. That's funny. They exiled a lightning bolt that they can't cast, so it just deals 2 instead of 3. Okay, Uro, time for you to make this happen. Or I could do Endurance stuff. Yeah, Endurance might be better than Uro, because Endurance arrives right now and starts connecting with the Chandra. Pressuring it in combat's my only good way to answer it. It was a little too late to Expressive Iteration for an answer, because that's already happened. Prismatic Vista, or Prismatic Ending is a 4 of in my deck, and I do play 4 colors. Okay, they plus Chandra already. It's time to Endurance. Tropical Island, and I'll grab the basic just to pretend I'm still playing the game if they Blood Moon. Endurance, attacking Chandra to 3. Chandra's -3 is the removal mode. Don't know if they use their graveyard, but I'm going to take that land away anyway. Oh no, a spell, Sudden Edict. They are going to ride this thing to the dome. It goes to 7 next turn and then goes ultimate the turn after, and the ultimate is not beatable at all. Okay, I can brainstorm here. I think setting up a Prismatic Ending is my best plan at this point. There's the ending, that's good. And that means I can put Uro on the stack and ramp, or cast Narset, clear these bad cards off the top of my deck. I can put EI, and I want the Volcanic Island. I do want my land drops. What card do I want to get rid of? It's probably just Endurance. The Swords of Plowshares is kind of sus. Alright, Swords of Plowshares. Then I'm going to play Narset and activate her. Prismatic Ending is my savior here. If I see a force in these cards, I'm going to take it. Otherwise, it's the iteration. Alright. Loam was the new information. Not quite enough. It is nice being able to get Prismatic Ending up to 4. Being capped at 3. And the spell is still great, but 3-color decks versus 4-color decks, big difference. No! 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 They just split Blood Moon off their freaking Chandra. Deal 2 to me. My finger's on the concede button. God damn. Let me just make sure there's no out to this in the main deck. Nope. Not one that's already in my hand. Deal 2 to me. Deal 2 to me. Commit to the race. Commit to the race. God damn it. Alright. Okay. I had a plan to clear the Chandra, and then we got Blood Moon. Blood Moon is one of the weaknesses of this deck. Always has been, and queuing into a Turbo Blood Moon deck in round 1, tough beats. A Force of Will wins that game, but whatever. We got sideboard plan. Blue Blast, Hydro Blast, Force of Vigor, all coming in. Seeds of Innocence, we did see Shadow Spear, which tells me Saga, but we saw Blood Moon, which tells me not Saga, or it's just like a crazy deck doing whatever the hell it wants with no regard for the rules of deck building, which is also possible. Pyroblast coming out for sure. I like Minsc and Boo. Endurance seems pretty medium, but pressuring Planeswalkers seems good. Didn't see any targets for Swords of Plowshares, which doesn't mean they don't have them, but I am going to chill off it. Okay. This is what I'm doing. Alright, let's go. On the play, the Wasteland is pretty bad. I mean, I like Wasteland if it was my 3rd land, not if it's my 2nd. Like, trying to get this Flooded Strand to get Expressive Iteration on this deck. Not interested. I'm going to mulligan this. Okay. This one has problems, but I am going to keep it. Send Mystic Sanctuary to the bottom. This can fetch basic Island and Red Blast of Blood Moon, or Blue Blast of Blood Moon. Gonna need some action, but the deck has a lot of action and selection in it. Chalice of the Void's a problem. Just maybe don't cast that card. Please. Action and selection, I told you. It's in there. Let's see what they got here. Chalice of the Void is a bummer. Blood Moon I have covered. I don't think I force Chalice. Definitely don't force Shadow Spear. BGAF about Shadow Spear. True Endurance, cool. I'm going to get the basic island, make sure that's just set up. No more questions about that one. This could get Pyroblasted, but I do have the land drop anyway. Tilt, no land. I think I'm going to put Minsc and Boo in hand, Narset on the bottom, and just get rid of Loam. I don't think destroying my lands is how they interact with them. So, sorry, Loam. Any one-dropper land gives me 2 cards there, but obviously did not convert. Sometimes that happens. But I have Minsc and Boo next turn with Force backup. Wasteland. Come on. I just exiled my Loam. What is this deck doing? Blood Moon and Wasteland, the classic combo. And they certainly have Brewer's Advantage. I'm going to fetch a Tropical Island here. Blue Blast the Blood Moon. And then jam Minsc and Boo down their throat. Come on, blue card to back up my Force. Not a blue card. It's all good. Minsc and Boo. Let's battle. Let's try to end this game quickly. We saw Lightning Bolt in their deck, but they're currently tapped out of red, which is good because Lightning Bolt can kill Minsc and Boo in response to the Boo trigger. But once you get a plus off, Lightning Bolt does not affect this Planeswalker anymore. Not meaningfully anyway. And now they're too far behind to Wasteland effectively, and we'll see how this goes. But this is the position I want to be in. If this Force had a blue card, I'd feel better. Hitting needle shit. All right. Okay, my 4/4 is getting in there. Minsc and Boo is turned off, though. Minsc and Boo, I have Endurance next turn, and I'm hardcasting Force next turn. We're getting there. Definitely a Saga deck, though, with the Blood Moon Saga combo. Weird. Wild deck. But I got Prismatic Endings, I got Force of Vigors, I got lots of ways to clear this Pithing Needle, or just ignore it. Or remove it from play. Do I even want to do that? I guess is the question. Good chance they're representing Red Blast here. I'm just going to attack. I can Force if they do something, Endurance if they don't, and I'm just applying pressure. I like that position. A Lightning Bolt, okay. They bolt this twice and I get to force it. Just get a giant 2-for-1. Especially if it taps them out of red and I don't have to think about Red Blast for the Teferi. Oh, they just said in the chat, expletive, supposed to hit Minsc, LOL. Okay. Oh yeah, that's true. That is a triggered ability. The 4/4 goes away, but okay. Yeah, and then they just didn't do anything with their mana. Weird. Okay. I mean, I'll take it. I can just hold up 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not lethal anyway. I'm just going to attack with what I got and hold up Force. Make them deal with my board and my counterspell. Uh-oh. There's some mana that they've been choked on the whole game. It is Ancient Tomb when they're at 5, and I have 2 lethal attackers if they tap it. Alright, seeing Needle and Shadow Spear, I'm going to bring in the Seeds of Innocence. This is definitely a Saga deck. What card do I think is bad? It could be Narset, just because she's awkward 3-mana double blue spell against the deck that probably has Pyroblast and probably doesn't draw many cards. Swords to Plowshares, we still haven't seen a reason to cast that, but decks that are constructed this way could have all sorts of scary creatures in them. I think I'm going to cut a Narset. The other option is Endurance, which, if I want an awkward to cast object in this game, do I want it to be a 3/4 or a Planeswalker? Do I want it to pitch to Force of Vigor or Force of Will? I still think a 3/4 has a lot of action in a deck like this, so let's do it. Step 1, don't get Blood Mooned. Step 2, profit. That's the matchup. No answer to Blood Moon. Does have Minsc and Boo. I brainstorm if I get even a single turn. Opponent mull to 6. If they turbo out this Blood Moon, I'm just a clown. I have 6 0-mana answers to Blood Moon, plus 2 1-mana answers. Whatever, let's go. They haven't really shown turn 1 explosiveness yet. Like, we haven't seen a Spirit Guide, a Chrome Mox, a Lotus Petal, anything like that. Yeah, turn 1 Blood Moon before I get any game actions. I'm down to 1/0 mana out, and basic island gives me 2 more outs. Okay. I at least have basic island online now. And they mulled a 5, which is what I need out of the Stompy decks. Ooh, Tormod's Whip. You got it. That'll get swept up in the Seeds of Innocence. Force of Will, that's a relief. Ponder is in my deck, but I think I'm going to pass here and see what they do on their turn. Like, the Force gives me some breathing room where I don't even have to counter Blood Moon. Okay, just nothing go. 2 Forces. Mystic Sanctuary is not a card I want. Loam, pretty bad with Unlicensed Hearse chilling over there. And I'm going to get the basic. It takes me off double green for Seeds, but it's at least like, I like that insurance policy. I like having it around. I'm going to let the Hearse eat my Uro to get the extra land drop and the life and the card and all the things that Uro does. Big money. Okay. I have Minsc and Boo with Force backup starting next turn. Car ate my Uro in their main phase. And I'm not going to get 5 cards into the graveyard in one shot. Didn't need to do all that. Okay. It's Minsc and Boo time. I now have Force of Vigor as well as Seeds of Innocence. Uro pitches to both of the forces in my hand, or all 3 of the forces in my hand. I will force a Lightning Bolt if I need to. Well, the trigger resolves, so I don't need to force Lightning Bolt now. We're in business. Rats off to you. Not quite a rat. Time to go ham. There we go. That's the one. We're just going ham now. Oof. Yeah, this Multi 5 is hurting over there. That is a lot of land drops that have been missed. I'm just going to make this a lethal threat. We have seen Sudden Edict out of this deck, which is something to at least be aware of. Now with 5 mana up, I can hard cast Force, pitch cast Force, and also pitch cast other Force. I have 3 spells I can cast right now, when they have not taken a single game action in 3 turns now. Haven't even tapped Hearse for the last turn cycle. That was a rough game 3 for them. I wonder how many Blood Moons are in the hand. But we did it. Got clowned by Blood Moon game 1, and then we won the sideboard games where we can answer Blood Moon. GG's, on to the next one. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play for round 2. Island Ponder. Let's do it. Playing against Noodle Boy. Great name. Right after I complimented their name, they said they like my videos. See? Kindness. Pay it forward. I don't know what I'm playing against yet. I don't need my second land drop. I'm going to chill on Ponder. We can cast that card with better information shortly. Once Upon a Time. Okay. This is probably a matchup where these 3 white removal spells are going to be good. We'll find out soon if they're just straight up Elfos or if this is... I guess 12 Post would be a matchup where the plows are terrible. But most Once Upon a Time decks have lots of green creatures in them. Oh god. Oh, this is madness. This is Sparta. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the overlap of Once Upon a Time and Bloodstained Mire is. Oh, I was wrong. Okay. Remain exclusively wrong about calling what their deck is. It is a green-red painter deck. Neat. That's a lot of Swords to Plowshares. my super brilliant plan was to untap and use Prismatic Ending on the Welder and save the plows for Painter because it works at instant speed, but I have so many of this card now that I kind of want to save Prismatic Ending for a non-creature permanent. Like it can hit the Grindstone. And I think I want Volk. No, I want Trop or Volk. Doesn't matter. There's more green cards than red cards. The red cards I want later. The only red card I want next turn is Expressive Iteration. Exactly any other permutation, I'd rather have green. Okay, I'm going to ponder. Now I am looking for a land drop. And I found 3 of them. Cool. Keepsies. Please don't Blood Moon me. Urza Saga. Alright, now you can Blood Moon me. Kill your Saga. The Goblin Engineer. They get the Entomb off here. Depending on what they get. Never mind, that's not true. Okay, so I'm immediately getting punished by not end-step plowing the Welder. Because if I did that, I would be able to... I would have a white up and I could plow Engineer now, untap Teferi, bounce Urza Saga, and send them back to the Stone Age. But those are not the plays I have available to me now. And Painter's in the mix. I think I want a Prismatic Ending. I'm going to back off my initial thing of saving Prismatic Ending. And now let's see if I die to some non-creature permanent. Can't wait. I'm going to fetch because I don't want the cards that are on top of my deck right now. I'm going to round out the colors. I think I want Taiga here. Oh, Flooded Trend doesn't fetch Taiga. I do want Taiga, but I guess I'll get Volcanic Island. And draw for turn. Hey, I got Taiga anyway. Get fucked, Magic. I'm going to bounce the Urza Saga. They'll make a construct, but I can plow the construct, and then this at least sets back their mana development. And lets the construct train back a little bit. There's an EI. Very happy to see that. Time favors me in this matchup, and having Teferi in play means that my spells aren't going to get picked off by Red Blasts. I am running skinny on plows here, though, after a bevy of riches at the start of the game. Table of the Mirror Breaker, sure. Aggressive Iteration. It's time to do busted shit. I can Mystic Sanctuary, but I'd rather leave my land drop available for EI and blue-red. I have a source that only makes white, so I'm going to tap my white dual land. Oh, yeah. Prismatic Ending in hand. Brainstorm on the bottom. Exile Wasteland. This clears this Saga for good. And Teferi's in plus mode. I don't need to Prismatic Ending yet. They can make discard draw decisions without knowing that they're not going to have a goblin. Once Upon a Time in Soul Guide Lantern. I love seeing that Soul Guide Lantern get discarded. Main deck Graveyard Hate, not my shit. Let's get rid of this token before it makes a treasure and kills my Teferi. We are at the point of the game where I've cast a hilarious amount of removal, which has kept the game in check. They keep presenting threats, which I don't like. There's Grindstone. How about some card advantage? That is card advantage. I can't be too picky, including Wasteland. Though, I think I want to fetch EI to the top of my deck. I'm just dead to Painter, though. Plus Teferi. You could try to do the Painter flip. Like, activate Grindstone. Flip it into Painter. Oh, this is a 5-mana play, though. Yeah, maybe I just spend this turn putting Expressive Iteration on top of the deck. Like, kill the Goblin. Or I could start just Wasteland locking them. But I really want Expressive Iteration. Okay, I'm going to put all these lands in my hand. And I am going to go for the Wasteland lock. Taking out Great Furnace, that's an artifact they don't have now, and a mana they don't have. And I'm going to remove the Engineer from play. And I think I do Dredge Loam. Uro at this point is good. I can spend my Teferi to bounce this Reflection of Kiki Jiki, get it out of play, draw an extra card. Eerie. Yikes. No, I can't. Oh, they pitched Minsc and Boo. Yeah, that's a good reason to have green cards in your deck. Okay, Teferi's dead. Very, very, very dead. V dead. Opponent's missing land drops over there, though. Draw for turn. Grudge Loam. Oh, there's 2 Wastelands in the mix now. That's good. This Kiki Jiki is not a legend, so I can't bounce it with Caracas. Wasteland, take out your Taiga. And another Wasteland in hand. I think I just draw a card next turn. I can take 2 points from this Kiki Jiki for a while. Just drawing a card. How many of those could my deck possibly contain? The answer is too many. I don't need to plow the Kiki Jiki until there's another creature in play. And I'm going to pick up Expressive Iteration and then just go nuts here. Okay. That helps play around Wasteland, kinda, but not really. How do I lose this game? If they play Painter second main, but then I can just pick up the plow with Mystic Sanctuary. Good Sanctuary, get me an Expressive Iteration. Alright, they're just scooping to that. Nice. I'll go for the Wasteland lock, smell weakness, and shut it down. After casting, what was that, 6 spot removal spells? Plus the Teferi bounce. Nasty. Okay, the blue blasts come in. I don't like bringing in red blasts or having red blasts in. If they name blue with Painter, red blast is great, but if they just like name black or whatever, it's terrible. So not interested. Force of Vigor. I like Endurance. Endurance can keep you alive through a Grindstone activation or mess up their graveyard deck. Endurance just hits them going in and coming out. Much like Mexican food. Ugh, so good, but you pay for it. I'm gonna shave some number of my forces. I really don't like Force of Will against the deck with 7 red blasts in it. But we've also seen Minsc and Boo, so we gotta respect that at least a little bit. Seeds of Innocence, yeah, I should probably have that in. And Narset. I think Narset's worse than Uro, though they're also gonna have Graveyard Hate they can tutor. I still think Narset's worse than Uro. Okay. Let's do it like this. I don't like beating up on their graveyard so much that I'll take a Surgical Extraction over an action spell, but Endurance, that's an action spell, and Graveyard Hate I'm more interested in. Offense, defense, and a big old body. Blue Elemental Blast. Yes, please. I'm gonna keep my hand. This deck might have Magus of the Moon in it, more likely than Blood Moon. That's just a thing I've seen in lists, but it might have none of the above because they're also making green mana. Uh-oh. Okay, it's not a turn 1 moon, unless they also have a Spirit Guide. Carpet of Flowers, that's a good card. Someday. Not for a minute. Alright, deck, let's draw Wasteland. Narset, alright. I'm going to play Flooded Strand, which can fetch the basic island if I need to respond to a Blood Moon. Or it can fetch Savannah, and then I can get Taiga, then I can cast Life from the Loam without an island in play. There's a Welder, okay. Currently no reason to interact with that, other than I can. But then it turns on their engine. I can pitch cast Endurance if there's an emergency, and then next turn I can natural cast Endurance, so I like just letting this Welder chill and play for a minute. Like, you can't play around Carpet of Flowers forever, but you can spend some time doing so. Painter Servant. I believe I want to destroy Goblin Welder in response to this. Which, unfortunately... No, they're not going to have Blood Moon. Just going to get Tundra. Or I'm going to get Trop. Yeah. Because that casts the Endurance next turn. To destroy Goblin Welder. Currently nothing to target. They could sack their Lotus Petal to rev this. That's fine. That's a Lotus Petal they don't have. That's mana they don't have to activate their Saga. Goes green. Perfect. Now everything pitches to Endurance and Force of Vigor. Deal. Alright. Is there one card left in hand? Something that they can cast? It is not. Rest of Iteration. No thanks. I want to ponder here. I'm looking for red removal. Or white removal. Force of Will. Not really. I'm not really interested in any of these cards. Not yet. Like someday, yeah. Shuffle your library, yes. Brainstorm. How much mana do I want to give them next turn? None, I think. Or just the one I already have. Yeah, I'm just going to pass. I can brainstorm on their end step after Carpet's already had its chance for the turn. Like, they can use Carpet mana to poop out a construct here, and next turn Carpet mana is lethal with the Painter still in play, so I am going to need to come up with an answer to this. Made your construct. End step. Time to brainstorm off of Tundra. Or if I brainstorm into Plow, I want to cast it now. Do I want 2 white sources? I can brainstorm into Savannah. Yeah, that's fine. I am going to brainstorm now. End step. Awesome looking gold brainstorm. 2 Uros and a Hydroblast. I don't need these Uros. I might want to pitch one of them to Endurance. Is Narset helpful? I could cast her, try to find a Plow. Yeah, I do like Narset, and I like the land. Yeah, that looks like the Uros are the worst cards left. Oh, if I'm going to EI, I don't need Narset. All right, I'll keep an Uro. An end step. I'm just going, I guess, yeah, no, I'm going all the way in here. Yeah, I need Volcanic Island to cast EI on my turn, which can Hydroblast the Welder now. Wasteland's really good. Swords to Plowshare is really good. Those are the cards I want most in my deck at this moment. Mystic Sanctuary, not bad. That can guarantee a good spell on top of my deck. I don't think that's how I'm playing this turn, though. I'm going to go leave white up and cast Expressive Iteration. 2 Brainstorms, not the best. If I play Taiga, I can cast Endurance next turn, target myself, give myself another spin. I can also Brainstorm now and try to dodge. Because they can find and activate Grindstone next turn. All right, I'm going to put Taiga in my hand, Brainstorm on the bottom, exile Brainstorm. Brainstorm lets me hit a white removal spell or Wasteland still. And I hit both. Okay, deal. Mystic Sanctuary. What are the cards that I want here? Mystic Sanctuary is whatever. And Arrakis is whatever. Or is Tundra or Taiga the next land I'm going to play? I will play either Taiga or Caracas next, and stacking my Brainstorm this way gives me access to both. Wasteland, the Saga. Loam and Uro are in my hand. Like, I could just waste lock them, but that's a lot harder with Carpet of Flowers. Oh, you're right. The Caracas on top of my deck lets me Prismatic Ending the Carpet and the Painter next turn. They floated 3 red, played Mox Opal. This is Minsc and Boo. Oh, Once Upon a Time. Alright, that scared me. Just suddenly having 4 mana. Yikes. They still have 3, plus a land drop. Saga, Tilt. It's fine, I have Loam. Don't worry about it, folks. And Fable. Yeah, there's a lot of good cards. Carpet of Flowers. Powerful stuff. Okay, I'm getting attacked for 4. And Arrakis. Or I could Loam first. Loam back, Wasteland, Misty, and then Prismatic Ending, Carpet. Try to squeeze them. Is there a version of this where I play Uro this turn? I Loam, that's not enough. I can Uro into Loam. I can't Loam into Uro. I think I need to start clearing permanents off the board. The Endurance gives me a lot of protection against just getting decked. I'm going to exile Carpet, and then I'm going to Loam Wasteland and some other lands. I know they have a Goblin. I know it sucks, but I'm going to hit the Saga, and I'm going to take a bunch of damage here, but next turn I get to Uro plus Prismatic Ending. And all my cards are green for Endurance. Like, every one of these lands, I can just pitch cast Endurance with Flooded Strand. The treasure makes the construct bigger. 4, 5, 6, 7. I go to 6. Bursts of Vigor, Seeds of Innocence are in the deck. Goblin Engineer, really good. That's going to find a Grindstone, probably. Unless they have some sort of tech that just goes straight to the head instead. Yeah, setting up their combo. Fair enough. I'm not dredging Loam. I am drawing a card. Did I know that was there? I did. Okay. So what do I do with this? I can Mystic Sanctuary, put Hydroblast on top of my deck. Do I even want to do that? I need to get this construct out of play. Okay. Mystic Sanctuary, target Hydroblast. Yes, use the ability. And then green, blue, colorless Uro. Draws Hydroblast. And puts Karakas into play. Prismatic Ending. Clears the construct. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Hydroblast. I can clear the Goblin or the Goblin Engineer. Do I care about Engineer? Knowing what I know. I mean, Engineer is pretty scary. Alright, I'm going to take out the Engineer. Okay. These are the things I've done and can do. There were 3 options with the Hydroblast of cards to destroy. The Fable or the Goblin Token. I think this makes sense. And I have access to Uro next turn. I can even dredge Loam, get Wasteland into play, or into my hand, and then play Uro. And this Endurance still just hanging out, making sure I get a second shot at removing the Painter if they just cobble together a combo in one shot here. Which it would take every resource they have, including these 2 treasures, because Grindstone's 1, activating its 3. They will be in active Kiki Jiki mode next turn. Another Fable, sure. I'm not happy about it, but it's also mostly fine. It doesn't kill Uro, is the important part. Or it doesn't stop Uro from coming into play. Do I dredge Loam? Do I care about the Taiga? Do I want access to spells? I think I just want access to spells. Second Uro. Taiga lets me green, green, blue, blue with a fetch land still up. Green, green, blue, blue. Leaving white up seems better than the other options. Here comes Uro, which puts me to 9, which is important because my life total's in danger. How about a spell? Oh, that's a spell. All right. Put my land into play. I think I want to just jam the other Uro, make sure my life total holds up. Has to be a green source. I'll get Savannah. Blue, colorless, green. Try to make sure I click on the right one here. Summoning Sick and Summoning Sick. They're both Summoning Sick. Okay, the triggers indicate which one it is. That's lucky. I'm going to keep the one that these triggers don't belong to. All right, that was scary. I play a lot of Magic Online, and that stuff still gets me. Okay, 11 life, Endurance plus green card in hand, and Seeds of Innocence, which kills the Painter, the Mox Opal, and any number of treasures chillin'. And I can dredge Loam next turn, pick up Wasteland, take them off any mana at all between the Seeds and the Wasteland. Discarded Minsc and Boo. Okay. Oh wow, they could have cast that with the 2 treasures. Not interested. I guess it's kind of behind the Uro at this point. Millions of treasures being made. Oh, they ripped into Pyroblast. That's smart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, not dead. Good thing I played the second Uro. Okay, I'm going to... okay, this is a Lightning Bolt deck probably, but they have no cards in hand, so I'm going to fetch now. I'm going to get this Tropical Island. My next turn is going to take a lot of green mana. Do I have 4 green? 1, 2, 3, 4. I do. Okay. That's not enough to Loam, so I guess I don't Loam this turn. Green, green, blue, blue, Uro. Get up there. There are still fetchable lands in my deck. Drawing more lands. Good stuff. Seeds of Innocence. Green, green, colorless. Zap. Opponent loses 6 permanents here. just still barely enough to stabilize me. There are not 2 green sources left in my deck. Yeah, I'm going to 2 here, and they get a treasure back. Burrow's got to do some work. No doubt about it. Up making a token goblin. Okay. Holding 1 back. Interesting. Isn't that just free damage? Because I'm obviously blocking one of them. I don't know. Alright. Not dredging Loam, I need spells. More Uros, you got it. Back with Uro. I need the life. Not gonna dredge Loam. I found some spells. We're doing stuff. Swords to Plowshares. I'm just gonna take out a Kiki-Jiki right now. And I'm gonna cast the other Uro from my hand. Blue, green, colorless. Leaving up green, green, colorless for this endurance. I'm going to keep the real one, or the sticky one. I don't have time to win another game, so I'm just hoping that this works. Goblin Engineer, okay, that's cool. I was hoping to endurance them this turn anyway, and playing their Entomb effect pre-combat just gives it value. I wasn't going to target myself. Got too much going on in this graveyard. Ooh, this is fun. They're going to copy Goblin Engineer, make another... Put another thing in the graveyard, spend their treasure, or no, they don't have enough artifacts to do this. Yeah, because their only artifact is also their only mana source. Okay, so I wait for the goblin to commit to the attack, but before the treasure token is made, that's the time to do this. Endurance. Target you. There's no artifact in play. Now there is an artifact in play, but no artifacts in the graveyard. Finish off this goblin token. I mean, this engineer plus Kiki-Jiki business is a little spooky, but Minsc and Boo can kill Kiki-Jiki or engineer next turn. I could just minus Force of Vigor. Okay, that one's also good. We drew a lot of good cards here. Red, green, 1, 2. Minsc and Boo, get in there. Yes, use the ability. I'm just going to push for damage, because I can Force of Vigor. The Kiki-Jiki is an enchantment. Ooh, drew a Wasteland. You love to see it. Opponent goes to 4. Second main, Wasteland. Your Taiga. Force of Vigor, your Kiki-Jiki, and Treasure Token. Splat. You got 2 mana to win this game with. I'm at 13. Good shit, let's go. Take your time, make sure you don't die, and peck them apart. Endurance let me be super bold that game, and just always push, because I was not going to get comboed out. Good shit. On to the next one. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series, Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7-Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7-Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7-Factor, or maybe even join their team, contact them through their website, 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7-Factor's YouTube channel to catch every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the play in round 3. I don't believe this hand is capable. It is a funny screenshot, though. I wish there was a blue card. That would make it the perfect funny screenshot. I'm going to mulligan this. I'm going to keep this. This is a good one. I think the plan is keep this and send Volcanic Island to the bottom. Loam will hit my 3rd land drop. Brainstorm can do stuff in between. Keeping Loam Endurance is important if they're a nonsense deck. I'm going to bottom Volcanic Island and then play Misty and pass. That's my plan. Let's do it. Opponent kept 7. Go Ball Pit. Oh, baby. We're in for a ride. Thoughtseize. Probably want to brainstorm in response to this. Gonna get Tropical Island because Life from the Loam is probably my next turn play. Alright, I can hide Narset and Endurance. Or I could just get rid of the land, hide Narset on top. Yeah, I'll get rid of the land. I don't need to hide 2 things if I actually end up losing one of them anyway. Narset seems important. We'll see if they value Force of Negation over Endurance here. Taking Loam would be interesting, because I want to cast Loam this turn, but I don't want to dredge Loam and lose the card I just hit on top. I could just draw it and make my land drop, and then I have Force blue card. I would suspect Force is the take, unless they're sandbagging like Tormod's Crypt. Alright, yeah, Force is the take. I am surprised. I'm going to fetch for, I guess, Volcanic Island. That sets up Aggressive Iteration if I draw that, and fetching both clears the land I didn't need and gives me 2 cards off Loam instead of 1. Shields all the way down. No green card for Endurance. No Force to pitch Narset too. But I'm going to untap into some dope 3-drops, and Uro's in my deck somewhere against this Cabal Pit Thoughtseize deck. You also don't lead on Cabal Pit if you can do like anything else. Okay. It's some sort of... Is it Loam Pox? Is it a Loam Mirror? What are we working with here? Crucible. Okay. So I have to outdo a Waste Crucible situation, which means I need to Loam. Or I could just hit them with Endurance right now. That sounds like the play. I'm just going to play Savannah and Endurance my opponent. Let's clear that Wasteland out of there. This might not do anything. I might have just played into Liliana, but I am more worried about Wasteland. I can keep up with it, I just don't want to have to. Not till I find an Uro, and then I'm just beating this. Smallpox, that's not too bad. I'm going to bin the Savannah. I want to keep my island count up. Discard Misty Rainforest. Oh god, they discarded Wasteland. This is real shitty. Now they can play Wasteland from the graveyard. I'm gonna have to dredge Loam just to keep up. And if Loam mills over my last green source... Oh no, there is a Taiga and Trop in the deck. It would have to hit 2 things, but I do have to dredge Loam here. Oh my god. No, okay. Alright. I saw the Tropical Island. It did hit the Taiga. But there is one more Trop in the deck. Tropical Island. Life from the Loam. Target. Taiga, Tropical Island, and Savannah. Get all of my green sources back up. I guess I should have... I guess next turn I'll target the fetch lands, but are there even fetchable lands left? Is that how this works? This is ugly. Who can pull ahead of this? I need to find an Uro, but like in my hand. Yeah, I needed last turn to get my green sources back up, and then I need this turn to start putting fetch lands into play, or into my hand at least. And hope there are some fetchable lands left in the deck when the dust settles. Target Flooded Strand. Island is a good one. And Misty Rainforest. Found my basic. Alright, Life from the Loam. Carry me home. My opponent can't really do anything without taking a turn off of wasting. Smallpox is busted. Always busted, though. Alright, they're taking a turn off wasting. I cannot care about Liliana. Not even a little. I'll discard the... Let me see what lands are in the deck. Fetchable lands, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-ish. 10 fetchable lands in the deck, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them are accounted for, so I can fetch 3 more times. I'll dump the Taiga. Yeah, that seems fine. I already have a red source, and I don't need 2 of them. Not dredging Loam. Actually get to draw a card this turn. Alright, here we go. I can exile the Crucible. Worry about the Liliana later. That sounds really good, actually. That sounds better than playing Narset this turn. Blue, white, red. Get rid of Crucible. I can play Narset next turn, unless one of their last 2 cards is a Wasteland. One of which is on the bottom of their deck, and they haven't shuffled since then, so it would have to be one of 2 remaining Wastelands in the deck. Meaning they drew 3 in their top 11 cards. Please don't do that. Curse Scroll is on, though, if they stop wasting me, but if they stop wasting me, they start falling apart really quickly. But now without Crucible, maybe they can't keep wasting me. Yeah, getting rid of Crucible feels good. Still going for the Wasteland. And Ghost Quarter. Fuck. I played Fox on the channel recently, and one of my observations was, wouldn't Ghost Quarter be great in this deck? And it turns out, yeah, it would. That's my only basic. I hope they don't know that, though. Looks like they don't know that. And I can play Volcanic Island, which means they can't take me off a color. All right, Narset, get in there. Brainstorm and Expressive Iteration. I think EI is better. Though I can Brainstorm and Loam in both next turn. Liliana will be ultimate if they want to just like take out some lands next turn, I guess. I think Brainstorm's actually better. Yeah. I'd like to EI, but I'm about to lose another land if they think it's worth it. If they don't realize that I only play one basic, then I'm going to wish I kept the EI. But brainstorming into the Prismatic Ending and clearing Liliana would be nice. Yeah, they can Curse Scroll with 100% hit rate here. Wait, what just happened? Games Brainstorm for Curse Scroll, reveals Dark Ritual. Oh my god. Yeah, they tried to guess a card in my hand. Oh, yeah, they had Curse Scroll backwards. They tried to guess a card in my hand when what that card actually does is reveal a card in your hand. Yep, so Narcissus gets an extra activation here. I'm not too proud. Come on, Prismatic Ending. Narset first. If we just rip it, we're good. Towards the Plowshares, Force of Will, Pyroblast. Oh, all these are bad. They win with Mishra's Factory. I'll take the Plow, I guess. And then it's time to brainstorm into some action. Force, Minsc and Boo. Minsc and Boo is not beatable at all. I put back Plow and... if I put back Tropical Island and they force a fetch... Oh, I can just fetch that. What am I doing? What am I saying? My brain is not real. Oh, I want to protect the Tropical Island, though. My brain is real, after all. Okay, I can cast Narset. I don't even need to shuffle, but I will. Ooh. There is another Tundra in the deck. And the Mystic Sanctuary is still in there, too. I could Mystic Sanctuary, getting Prismatic Ending. I'm going to go for Tundra, though, and play a different Narset. What I need to happen here is for them to take one turn off of going ultimate with Liliana. Like, if I can resolve this Minsc and Boo, they cannot win. I guess Curse Scroll can pick off the Boo every turn, but they would have to just not plus Liliana and then hold back Curse Scroll in the anticipation of Minsc and Boo. Oh, you have your own Loam? That's so fucked up. Is that true? Is that what's happening right now? It is. Oh, that's bad. And if I force, I lose my Oh, God. One card short where I need to be right now. We're getting back Wasteland. All right. I might have to spend a turn loaming here if they go for the aggro Wasteland play. I'm going to discard Force of Will. I think that ship has sailed. If they just crack off Wasteland and GQ here, they're good. But if they don't do both, I can absorb one of them. And then I'm ahead of Loam. I'm not going to dredge Loam. I am going to activate Narset. Pyroblast, EI, Swords of Plowshares. I'll grab EI, and then we're in the danger zone. Minsc and Boo. Get to put a big attack onto Liliana. And they can minus her and then hold up Curse Scroll, which because of Loam isn't reliable anymore. I might be out of green sources, though, for real this time. Or did I shuffle one away? Tropical Island, Taiga, Savannah. Yeah, these are all my green sources. If they dredge Loam and Wasteland my Trop, I'm all in. They didn't dredge Loam. All right, they killed my Boo. They can not Cabal Pit. Not enough cards in the graveyard. Oh, they can Curse Scroll. That's right. Sure. Okay, so Boo happens here. And then dies immediately. I am going to dredge Loam. And yeah, just get this Loam on the stack. Oh, wait. That's not what I'm doing. I'm gonna sack my hamster because they can curse scroll it. I'll just pick off Liliana that way. Oh, but then they can curse scroll Minsc and Boo. Fine. I'll put counters on the hamster. Let you scroll it, and then I'll loam and get back in this game. And I'll know what your one card in hand is. Is a swamp. Okay. A life from the loam, targeting green sources, tropical island, tundra, and taiga. Or savanna is better than taiga. Green, colorless. And then I think I want an EI. Blue, red, actual gain, card advantage here. Any one drop or land is good. Brainstorm's fine. All right, plow in hand, plow on the bottom, exile Brainstorm. And then play Tropical Island and cast that Brainstorm. EI, plow, Caracas. Okay, I'll put these plows back, I guess. And ship it. Still no sign of Uro. I mean, I both of my Narset activations saw Uro and sent it to the bottom, so that's where it is. Okay, so they dredged Loam, but if they Loam too hard, then Curse Scroll becomes unreliable, which is what's keeping Minsc and Boo in check. All right, went all in. 3 lands. You can play 1, you can plus Liliana, lose 1, and then you're on a coin flip for Curse Scroll. And if you waste me, you don't get to do that anyway. I'm going to discard Caracas here. That's not part of this game. Both of my main deck endurances are in the graveyard, though, so I do have to be careful about decking. 2 cards in hand. I guess it's possible they're the same card. I wasn't paying that much attention. I don't think they are. I think we're on a coin flip. Let's find out. Plus counters on my hamster. Oh, now you have Cabal Pit, if you want to do it that way. How do we do? Named Verdant Catacombs, and that was revealed. Are both cards Verdant Catacombs? Did that happen somehow? Blue-red, Expressive Iteration. Force of Will in hand. Out of the bottom, Exile Ponder. Has to Ponder. There's Uro and Prismatic Ending. Starting to do it, folks. I'm going to keep all of these here. Draw the Uro. Play Savannah, which casts Uro, which draws Prismatic Ending, puts this Tundra into play. And I don't think I want to cast Ponder. I actually want to respect the number of cards in my deck. I think my hand can beat what they're doing right now. They did not mill over a Bajuka Bog. Yeah, next turn I can escape Uro and Liliana. Between land drop and Liliana activation, they can get their hand back to exactly 1 card, if that's what they want to do. I guess they could Wasteland, Ghost Quarter, cast Loam, play Wasteland, waste, and then take me off green sources. They have not indicated that that's a line they're interested in yet. This Ghost Quarter would have wrecked me 1,000 years ago. Just playing basics, representing 1 basic. It was pretty good. I might force Loam if they play it. I guess it depends on what the targets are. Wasteland my Savannah. Okay. I am going to force Loam here. You're targeting Wasteland and Bayou. I don't want that to happen. I'm going to discard Swords of Plowshares. And now they can't have 3 mana and have a card in their hand. So Minsc and Boo are going to... Oh, you can Cabal Pit still. Yeah, the pit is still there. Uro. Green, green, blue, blue. I'm starting with this. And exile. Flooded Strand, Misty Rainforest, Flooded Strand, and Misty Rainforest. Fetch lands are not much help anymore. Put 3 counters on Boo. They can Cabal Pit in response, but they didn't. Prismatic Ending, white, black, red. Get rid of Liliana. My opponent's having a tough time in the chat. Just that misclick off the Curse Scroll earlier and then missing the Cabal Pit now. Yeah, they know exactly what's going on here. We've all been there. Okay, Pox. Actual Pox. Endurance comes in. Surgical comes in. Loam Pox. Action. They're probably a Saga deck, which is weird because they played like they were not a Saga deck, but gotta imagine they are. Field of the Dead. is questionable because they can't beat it if it's happening, but it's also hard to make it happen. But having just more lands in the deck seems reasonable. Plow isn't that great. Force of Vigor probably is great. Pyroblast has no text at all. No good text anyway. I think I can chill on Force of Will. I like Force of Negation for its applications versus Life from the Loam, but I'm also piling up all my graveyard hate here. Alright, until they show me Saga, if there is a game 3, I don't want to bring in Seeds of Innocence. Like, I do have Wasteland, Force of Vigor, Teferi, and just board presence to fight off a Saga. Is that even a good argument, or should I just cut a Plow for Seeds of Innocence and just be rolled up? Because Seeds kills the Crucible, which is also a problem. Alright, I talked myself out of it. This is what I'm doing. And having that one of Loam in my opening hand was pretty important. I would not have won that game if Loam was even like one turn behind where it was. I'm going to snap keep this one. Saga confirmed. Good to know. They went after it on turn 1 pretty hard though. Like do you have Ancient Tomb in your deck? Are you sandbagging a Mox Diamond? How are we getting constructs into play here? Wasteland, that doesn't do it. Ooh, my own. I'm gonna waste Saga. I have Force of Negation in my hand. I can clip the first Loam for good, which goes a long way here. Bummer. Should have saved my Wasteland. How could I know? Okay, I can fetch Basic and cast Brainstorm. I think that's what I'm gonna do. If I find another fetch land here, then I'm good. I can keep dodging the Wasteland. Oh, I found Loam. That's even better. If I put back the 2 Narsets, or the 2 endings. Yeah, the 2 endings. Give them a tasty target for Caracas, or for Wasteland. But if you waste me, you don't get to make constructs, so probably not going to waste me anyway. But I couldn't lead on the green source because I need that one. Okay. It is time for Life from the Loam. I will cast it. I will have to discard a card in the end step here. Sorry if you just heard a bang. I just clumsily kicked my desk while adjusting myself. Okay. Have to discard a card when I'm fetching in the end step. Probably, I mean, I kind of want the Prismatic Ending. I also kind of want the Endurance. It's just one of these Narsets, I guess. Or the Force of Will. Yeah, I don't have 2 blue cards anyway. It's the Force of Will. I'll keep the Narsets. Plan for the long game. As one does. Yeah, if they have graveyard hate, they can plunk my Loam here. Which they probably should do if they can. Do have to watch the clock. I'm almost a minute behind them. Currency Converter. Jealous. I can pick that off. We have 3 mana in the pool. Oh, hell no. You still have your land drop for the turn. I would like to save my Force of Negation for Loam, but Crucible is just as bad. Same thing, but scarier. Okay, my plan here is to dredge Loam, waste them, exile a permanent, and then cast Loam. Try to take you off green. And then Prismatic Ending, the construct, or not the construct, the currency converter. The thing that generates value. And then loam back 3 cards, including the Wasteland. Gas up. They're so far behind on lands now, they're going to have a hard time wasting me again. Unless they just have a second Wasteland in hand and want to just like hit my 2 things and bet on 1/1. Doesn't sound great. If they go green source Loam here, that's actually a huge bummer. I'm to Turok, sure. Hit my Wasteland and my Narset. I am committed to this Wasteland line. Savannah, Wasteland. And Misty Rainforest to my hand. I'm going to waste this Urborg. Let's hope the game ends from here. Green source Loam is still a huge pain. Okay, cool. Didn't have that. Not going to Wasteland their Wasteland, but holy shit. That was a draw. What happens at 4 mana, folks? Every single time. Minsc and boo. I would like a hamster. I'd like it to be huge. And the race is on. They did not play a land at all last turn. They have no black sources. Urborg's probably the best draw in their deck right now. And even if they draw the Urborg, their hand has to be pretty gassed to beat an active Minsc and Boo. Okay, they found a land. They could have an Edict here to clear the Boo temporarily. They could Loam. Exploration, good for you. I mean, that's a cool card. I've played some Exploration Pox on this channel. They missed their last many land drops, so I don't think that card's actually good here, but they have it. It's a way out, kinda. Attacking me. Understand that they're not winning this game by pressuring my Planeswalker. I should probably Dredge Loam. Yeah, fine. I want to start casting spells, but also, like, let's just wasteland this player who hasn't had a land for the whole game. Wasting the Bayou and Ham Up. Put you on a 1-turn clock. There we go. I'm representing a 10-10 trample, going for the Spite Wasteland. I think that's just giving up on the game, unless they've been sandbagging Swamp Smallpox this whole time, but even then, you're still dying to Minsc and Boo. Not going to Dredge Loam. Play land, and I don't even have to activate Minsc and Boo. I guess I should have flung it. Would have been fun to draw 7 cards on the way out. Style points. But it's alright. The hamster did all 20 that game, not counting the couple of fetch lands they did. Alright, GG's. A couple identified missteps. My opponent knows what they did game 1. Game 2 was just a smearing, and the one of Loam showed up both games. You love to see it. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. On the draw in round 4, this... I don't think I'm mulligan this, but this is the 4-color special here. I'll keep it. It's got 2 lands and a Brainstorm, and the 2 lands cast the EI. Uh-oh. Well, white source off the top. Let's go. Bummer. Okay, I'm going to play the Volcanic Island and pass the turn. Elves can be tough, especially if they get the velocity up under the blue decks. That's not a Gaia's Cradle. I'll take that. The ship. Okay. And Virtual Rangers. Okay, deck. One of my top 4 cards needs to be a white source. Please and thank you. Getting in there with the Heritage Druid. Getting rowdy. Respect it. Alright, deck. White source. Didn't get there. Is this a Brainstorm or Ponder situation? Ponder sees more cards than Brainstorm does, and I actually like almost everything in my hand. Oh, that's not even true. Like, Uro kind of sucks. You know, Uro's good later. Teferi kind of sucks. Alright, yeah, it's a Brainstorm situation. I do want to actually change the contents of my hand here. Found the white source. Teferi. I can Teferi next turn and bounce something, or I can shuffle away and try to find another removal spell. Or I could EI next turn. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. The fairy's going away, and I'm a ways away from this Uro being useful. So Uro's always kind of good. Okay, I'm shuffling with the Uro. Fuck it. I'm going to get a Tundra here because Savannah doesn't cast Expressive Iteration next turn, if that ends up being my play. So my hand doesn't even contain any counter spells. Like, I could hit the Heritage Druid right now and really cut their mana. Yeah, I think that's the line. A Shepherd's scary if you're relying on counter spells or if they have a bunch of creatures and mana, and none of those 3 things are true right now. Uncounterable Glimpse of Nature with Virtual Ranger and the potential of Cradle from hand could get dicey. But I also cut off Heritage Druid, which was their big engine if that was the play. Quirion Ranger, okay. We're playing Grandfather Elves. This is not the Newton Fiend Artisan concoction. They can still bounce Forest and make a bunch more mana this turn. Yeah, they can play a 3-drop or a series of 1s. Uh-oh, had the Heritage D anyway. Alright, deck. Towards the Plowshares. Okay, Ponder twice sees more cards than Expressive Iteration once. And okay, now I shuffle it up. Wasteland not helpful, and Ponder. Swords to Plowshares, real nice. I'll put the plow in my hand. And once again, I'm going to target Heritage Druid with this Swords to Plowshares. Can't take them off Shepherd. Still don't have a counterspell anyway. Just 4 damage, go. Show it to me. 4 damage, go. 4 damage, go. Just give me a fair fight with Uro. Alright, Shepherd number 3. That's not a card that's good in multiples, for the most part. They have managed to play around Wasteland entirely, though. I could Uro into EI, but I don't think I'm going to EI this turn. I know the top card of my deck, but I'm not going to lie, I forget what it is. Alright, basic island. Blue-green. I'm putting in a white source anyway, so I can leave the red untapped. Volcanic Island. Yep, that was the one. And I can't EI here. Or I could EI just to anticipate a green source into my hand. I think I'll do better with it next turn, though. Unless they draw Cradle, then I lose. Another 5-point swing. And we're back at my turn. EI. I can EI into a green source and cast Uro here. That's the green source. Minsc and Boo is medium minus here compared to Brainstorm. Yeah, I'm going to put Brainstorm in hand. Minsc and Boo on the bottom. Exile, Misty. Like, Minsc and Boo could show up, make the Boo, pick off an elf, and I draw a card, then I lose the Minsc and Boo in combat. Not really the game I'm trying to play here. Brainstorm finding me a bunch of removal spells to close out this game is what I actually want. Blue, blue, green, green. You know what it is. I'm going to exile the redundant spells from my graveyard. I'm going to leave Swords to Plowshares there because Mystic Sanctuary is live now. Prismatic Ending, disappointing. No white sources to back that up. Alright, now I have a big old creature in play. Still dead to Cradle. Please don't draw Cradle. The way that Owl's matchups have run on my channel lately, they just 100% have Cradle in hand right now. Alright, we're getting away with it. Right, they can still push damage. They could pick that up with Symbiote and replay it. That's fine. I can Prismatic Ending the Symbiote before combat, and then Uro, we're just slapping in there. Force of Will. Okay, Prismatic Ending the Symbiote. Take that thing out. Then attack with Uro. See what comes of that. Play from the Loam. No blocks from the opponent. And let's see if we are rewarded for keeping the Brainstorm. Or I guess I still have a land drop. I'm going to start with EI. Red, blue. 2 white mana available. Oh god. Alright, Scalding Tarn in hand. Taiga on the bottom. Exile Misty Rainforest. Play Misty Rainforest. Fetch for Mystic Sanctuary, which puts Swords of Plowshares on top. Yes, put it there. Cast Brainstorm. And Endurance plus Plow. That's a lot of meat on the board this turn. Do I want to plow anything? Yeah, I think I want to plow Virtual Arranger. Yeah, I'm just going to hit Virtual Arranger right now. Cradle still somehow kills me. This is the last turn where Cradle kills me, though. If this turn goes off unimpeded, we're good. Okay, Endurance, jump in. I'll target my opponent. And I'm going to block the unique creature. Now I'm at 7 with a blocker. I know my top card. I'm going to Narset. Loam is on top of my deck right now. Not an important card. Prismatic Ending and Life from Loam. Yeah, I'll take an ending. Pick off one of these jerks. Alright, yeah, Cradle doesn't kill me anymore. And yeah, the old elves couldn't get their engines under them. Fail rate. Which the Newton deck is a lot slower, but it's a lot better at that sort of thing not happening. Yikes. Supreme Verdict in, Containment Priest and other Sworn Canonist in, Pyroblast out, Force of Negation, don't love that. I kind of like Endurance for those scrappy games. And Force of Vigor can hit Choke, which is a card I have mild concern about. Narset's good. Teferi's actually pretty bad. Like, getting Instant Supreme Verdict is cool, but Teferi on the draw against the deck full of 1/1s, you bounce a 1/1, then it dies to their other 2 1/1s, and then they replay the 1/1 you bounced. Not sexy. Minsc and Boo actually seems sort of medium. It does win the game when you need to win the game. Nah, I'm off it. And I have 4 Prismatic Ending, 3 Force of Will to tangle with Choke, which might be like a 1 or 2 of in their sideboard. I have my Canonist and Island Ponder. I'll play a high land count to get away with hands like this one. Ooh, white mana. I'm going to Ponder, still looking for spot removal. Oh, baby. I like that Supreme Verdict. I like the Ponder under it. I don't like that I'm missing land drops, but if I can get this other Sworn Canonist in before I'm dead, then you get to grind up to Supreme Verdict. Unfortunately, no Plateau in the deck to play Supreme Canonist this turn and Iteration next turn. Can't have everything. In for 2. Okay. I generally like when Nettle Sentinel does that, compared to all the other things it could do. I don't like when it brings friends. But if this happened pre-combat, I'd be more worried, because if they go Land Heritage Druid now, at least I can't die this turn. But still scary. Pride Arbor, deal. Alright. Big cannons. Get Tundra and play Canonist. Maybe I should have gotten Savannah there, just out of respect for Choke. Yeah, if they go land Choke here, we probably lose, even through the Canonist. I am not going to trade with a Nettle Sentinel. Normally, I'm happy to trade any material for an elf out of elves, but not this one. There's Cradle. They could just natural order here. Zenith. Okay. This can get Grist, which can kill my Canonist. Yup. Ooh, sacrificing the Dryad Arbor is really interesting to me. Someone's setting up a combo. I'm going to Ponder. I could also play Narset, don't minus, or play Narset and minus. But that means I have to draw the land next turn. Naturally, if I had the other land in my hand, I think I would Narset here. But I want to Ponder. There's the land. Do I want to Brainstorm here? I think I do. Brainstorm will see 1 new card that could still be Swords to Plowshares right now. B-Storm. Oh, that's tough. I don't really want my Elves opponent on top with Cradle, but I also am going to sweep the board next turn. Okay, I'll hide Wasteland and Supreme Verdict on top and play Tundra. I have Force of Will up. Unfortunately, Grist is really good against Supreme Verdict, and it's worse than having all the board full of elves you actually want, but it's still pretty good. Grist, milled Green Sun Zenith. Glimpse of Nature. If I lose this turn, I'll regret not forcing this. So I'm going to force it. I'm going to pitch Uro. I think Narset does more for this game than Uro does. Or was that bait? Am I getting natural ordered? No, but I am going to 8. Maybe Uro was better for this game. Yeah, if I could have Uro'd this turn, drawn the Wasteland on top of my deck, hit the Cradle, and at 11, go, and then Supreme Verdict next turn. I could hold up. No, I don't want to hold up Endurance. That doesn't make any sense. I have white, so I can get any land. Or at least any land that my deck could get. I'm going to get Volcanic. Okay, smash. I wanted to get Taiga there, but Flooded Strand doesn't get it, because that lets me cast Endurance next turn, but like I said, doesn't work. But I do have EI in my hand as well. Grist Mills, Heritage Druid, Symbiote. How big is the rebuild? How deep are we going here? Virtual Ranger. There is a Mystic Sanctuary still in my deck that can rebuy the Supreme Verdict, and that could do it. I'm going to Expressive Iteration, leaving up all my white mana. Could just hit 2 white spells here. Oh, that's a white spell. Okay, I'm going to put Endurance in my hand. Play from the Loam on the bottom. Exile Containment Priest. Play my land and play Priest. Card's better as an instant, and Grist is in play. They can just kill it, but it's at least a wall up in the face of Natural Order. It's going to cost you a creature, which also costs you a mana, which also costs you the size of Craterhoof. They are minusing Grist, to the surprise of nobody. Sacrificing the bug token. I am at 7. I'm about to go to 5. If I fetch, I go to 4. It's kind of interesting. Maybe I'm supposed to put EI on top. Or... yeah, because Supreme Verdict only kills 1 creature. That's not even good. Yeah, I'm going to go for Expressive Iteration. Yeah, that makes sense in my brain. Hope EI comes up with a green source. Like, green source and white removal spell is the perfect EI right now. Got green source, didn't get the white removal spell. Exile Misty, play Misty. But this turn, I fetch, play Grist, go to 2. Or, not Grist, play Endurance, go to 2. Milled over Natural Order. Good, get rid of those. Don't want to see them. I am going to fetch Taiga with this Misty Rainforest. Yeah, that Uro I pitched 1,000 years ago would have been great here. And this Narset that I protected by pitching the Uro just has not found a spot to come into play. Burian Ranger, okay. Virtual Rangers, yikes. Alright, what's the last card? Getting Natural Ordered. 6 mana. 7, 8. Oh, is it just Hoof from hand? That will be lethal. Okay, sure. Fair enough. Uro wouldn't have saved me there, but it would have been a lot better than the Narset in all of these build-up turns. Yeah, Grist carried that game. Powerful card. Right, maybe all these Endurances is a bit much. I have a lot of removal in the deck, so maybe I just keep my forces, treat it like a combo deck, and use my removal to prioritize the Shepherd. Like forcing a Grist or Zenith 4 Grist is pretty nice. I'll make that change and get back in. On the play, yep. This is the plan I lined up, which is sculpt my hand with cantrips, remove their thing, and force. Uro, what's up? Very happy to see that one. I won't make the same mistake again. Uro's in my hand. I don't need to prioritize that second force on top of my deck. We're not in a hurry with that. Metal Sentinel, okay. It is not a Allosaurus Shepherd, but any piece of material that I can destroy on curve while I build up my action spells is worth it to me here. Another Metal Sentinel. Not going to spend force on that. Now we get in the game of chicken where it's like, are you sandbagging Shepherd or do you just not have it? I don't know the top of my deck, so this Uro is a wild draw. Gain some life. Oh, that's a good draw. And now with the plow at instant speed, I don't need to make a decision on this Metal Sentinel. I can do the world famous pick off Shepherd and then counter your spell if necessary. But I don't think it will be. I'll just nothing go. On deck, spell. Alright, I'll take a land. That land lets me actually play Uro once I get to 5 cards in the graveyard. I can make it 4, like whenever, between fetch, land, plow. If I force something, that'll be Uro next turn. Don't really need to react to Dryad Arbor here. Lumps of Nature. That card is usually worth countering. I'm going to leave the mana up for Swords to Plowshares. I could just hardcast Force here, but I'd like Uro in play next turn. I could hardcast another Force if they do another thing. It's there if I want it. Oh, another cool trick is Swords to Plowshares, take out one of these things, fetch Mystic Sanctuary, put Plow on top, cast Plow, and then escape Uro, and they have no board. Burian Ranger. I'm gonna Plow Dryad Arbor in response, or else I might not get another chance to do that. That gives up Force of Will, but I don't think that's the plan anymore. 1 Cradle gets them up to 3. I don't know. It would take, like, Elves is capable of winning from here if they go like Heritage Druid and then more stuff. But it would take some major needle threading. Oh, there it is. Okay, Boseiju is not the land they needed to start threading needles. Fetch for Mystic Sanctuary. Wait, Swords to Plowshares on top. I guess that could have been Prismatic Ending, and it's the same thing, but they don't have 1 extra life. I take out Heritage Druid and play Uro. I would love to rip a blue card off this Uro right now. Easy game. Okay, opponent's got 2 cards in hand. I've got Uro and Force of Will. Let's go. Yeah, pass the turn with nothing. That's what we like to see. Gonna attack with Uro. You put Scalding Tarn into play. I can ponder and I'm still holding up Force of Will. I still have a land drop as well. Do I want to wasteland my opponent? Not really. I'm gonna shuffle. I'd rather find a spell here, like that one. Prismatic End I think the Quarian Ranger. Nettle Sentinel's the worst card in the deck when you're not engineing, and I've done a pretty good job collapsing their engine this game. Quarian Ranger is always good for a land drop if you don't have one. Nettle Sentinel's just like a really shitty 2/2. Tamer Priest, what's up? That's good stuff. Uro, bring the pain. Oh, Minsc and Boo. Right on time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have exactly enough mana to force and Priest. Minsc and Boo can be lethal next turn. I don't need to put a hamster into play post-combat. Wrist. Just straight up from the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Force of Will. Yeah, we're at that phase of the game. Yeah, Rowdy with Nettle Sentinel. Let's go. And end of turn, I'm going to get Taiga and Savannah. Drop in a Containment Priest, which is lethal, even without the Minsc and Boo. We got the GGs in the chat. Just waiting for that concede button. And there it is. It's official. We are 4-0. Let's go play a trophy round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. On the draw in the final round, I'm going to keep Island Ponder, baby. And we got Endurance for turn 0 interaction if we need it. Prismatic Ending, creature removal. Just a well-rounded hand here. All right. The test. Got a little Delver action in the final round. Nothing like earning a trophy, fending off the champ. On the draw, no less. Hard mode activated. Now I get to make the tough choice of fetch the basic to cast Ponder, and basic may or may not be helpful for the rest of the game after that. Wow. Mill to Force of Will. No respect. Or they already have one. Those are the options. Oh, Mystic Sanctuary, that sucks. I am going to get the basic island and cast Ponder. I would like to hit my land drops this game. And nothing else really matters. I got Uro, I got Endurance, I got a removal spell. This hand is really good against what we're looking at here. It just needs to actually cast and resolve spells. Oh yeah, okay. I will take a full grip of lands here. Okay, Misty Rainforest in my hand. They are on that turn 2 Murktide life. It's only a 4/4, but I mean that's still a robust creature. On turn 2, there are 5 cards in the graveyard already. Well, maybe they'll miss a land drop. That would be sick. Delver. No love. Never lucky. Okay, please don't have Stifle in your deck. Tundra. I think I want Savannah. That gets me Endurance next turn. And I'm going to end the Dragon's Rage Channeler. That's the better card here than Delver. Delver, what are you doing? Reveals Ponder. Sure. If I can get this Uro on the stack next turn, I'll feel good about it. Wasteland. All right, didn't even need the Ponder, just had Wasteland straight up. Sure. That's why we keep these grips full of lands. Murktide's still only a 4/4, but it's backed up by Delver now. Jeez, all right. That one Wasteland is going to be a huge game changer. That's 7 I need to take before I can even put Uro on the stack. I didn't want to pitch cast Uro to take them off Murktide because Uro and Endurance are an insane 1-2 punch if they don't have Murktide there. Oh my god, it never stops. Hey deck, how about a Swords to Plowshares, which doesn't even win the game. Swords to Plowshares, I have to fetch, go to 6 to cast it, and not even good enough. I guess I have to cast Uro here and hope to spike Swords to Plowshares off of it. Or I could Endurance my opponent. Oh, but that makes Murktide bigger. Not a deal. Volcanic Island, and then green, blue, colorless. Gotta spike Swords to Plowshares off of Uro here, and they can't have days. Okay, that didn't work. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm dead. Cool. Delver of Secrets, folks. My hand was not good for this matchup. I can mulligan better and have better sideboard cards for the next one. One Wasteland difference maker in the game. One Swords to Plowshares would have been a difference maker in this game, but Delver doesn't let you stumble. And we're just dead. Turn 5 Goldfish through a removal spell and gain 3 life. No sweat. Pyroblast, get in the deck. Supreme Verdict, get in the deck. Endurance, get in the deck. Carpet of Flowers, get in the deck. Hydro and Blue Blast, get in the deck. Force of Negation and all Force of Wills, get out of the deck. Minsc and Boo, get out of the deck. Minsc and Boo dies to Lightning Bolt, which is not a defensible position. But that leaves only Uro to win the game with. Really? Has this deck been that slim on win cons the whole time? I could bring in Field of the Dead. I mean, that's now 10 cards to 7 coming out. I could turn Wasteland into Field of the Dead 1 for 1. You don't really want to be Wastelanding Delver. It's usually a mistake. Narset is good on a stable board, but it's hard to get to a stable board. I do like Teferi, like Ponder, Pyroblast, EI, all this stuff, Loam, Secret Killer. This sideboard does not map well versus Delver, which is a problem. If you have more cards you want to bring in than you want to take out, then you should use your sideboard cards for something else. This is just so much of this. I could cut the other Wasteland and just be like, I'm not wasting you, Delver. Let's go. So -1 land against the Wasteland deck, but +2 carpets. Yeah, that's a big deal. Okay, I'm going to try this. Uro and Field of the Dead are how I can actually inflict life point damage to my opponent. On the play, I'm going to keep this one. Have a Swords to Plowshares this time. Chip it. Opponent fetched a Flooded Strand for Ponder. Oh, I love when Delver starts with anything that's not a creature. Feel like you won the lottery. Carpet. Ooh. I like Pyroblast too. I'm just going to land go. Between Pyroblast and Swords to Plowshares, I'll have a 1-mana answer to whatever creature they play this turn. That can dip around days. If they want to play Draw Go with me, I can do that. I'm going to pass the turn here, and I'm going to Brainstorm on the end step if they don't do anything else. They might just try to Maddening Hex me here. Channeler's in. I'm going to Brainstorm first and then fetch and plow, probably. And they can Pyroblast this. That's a pretty aggressive use of that card. I'm going to grab Tundra and plow their creature. Okay, that happens. Time for some Uro action. Going to get Island, play Uro. Hope they don't have Surgical, because then I have to win with Field of the Dead. There is another Volcanic Island in my deck, so that's fine. I am almost in the Field of the Dead already. Pretty big. Big moves. Maddening Hex. I'll Brainstorm in response. There's no blue source. Oh, Volcanic Island. Yeah, okay. I can brainstorm away the other volcanic island. Or I could just keep it in my hand. That plays too. I don't need a redundant Uro. And Quest Iteration is good. Okay. Maddening Hex resolves. And I'm just going to cast Uro. Do I want this EI? I don't think I do. I want a Savannah. A Savannah is green, green, blue, blue. Motobug. Green, green, blue, blue. Yeah, so this is Uro. I can blast a force and pay for days if any of those things are important. Okay, Uro's in play. Not a creature, doesn't trigger Hex. I have 6 outs in my deck to remove Hex. The Teferi in my hand can also bounce the Hex at the cost of damage on the way through. Exiled Brainstorm with EI. And for the Pyroblasts, respectable, sure. Okay, I'm going to go for Teferi. White, blue. Yep, here's Teferi. I take some amount of damage. 6. That is certainly an amount of damage. Bounce the Hex. Expressive Iteration. Red, blue. Pyroblast in hand. Land on the bottom. Exile Brainstorm. Cast Brainstorm. Don't need this second Uro. I do like all these lands and Pyroblasts. There is a Taiga in my deck I can fetch. If they just slam Hex again this turn, I have the Hydroblast for it. And Teferi means they're not going to fight over it. I do like playing a control deck that isn't just dead to Hex. That feels good. Alright, I'm going after this with Pyroblast. Let me get the Taiga. They can't follow up with Hex. They can't follow up with anything because Teferi's still in play. And I get another Uro here. Plus Teferi and blue, green, green, blue. Left EI in the graveyard. That is one that I might be interested in picking back up next turn with Mystic Sanctuary. 7 cards in my opponent's hand. We're both at 18 life. My hand is full of efficient answers to bullshit. That qualifies. I'm going to just counter it. Oh, I should have tapped Taiga to do this. But I don't think it's going to matter much. Alright, cool. Game 3 on the draw against Delver for the trophy. God, Minsc is so bad against Lightning Bolt. But I'm also just like afraid of my ability to win the game against the Surgical Extraction. Oh, I have Endurance. My brain didn't even register with the border. So that's a pretty real win con. Between Endurance, Uro, and Field of the Dead. Yeah, those are game winners. I don't need to bring in a 4-mana spell that dies to Lightning Bolt. Okay, let's do it. This is not a keep. It has the Loam, but this Mystic Sanctuary, no deal. This is a great hand. Keep it and put... I think it's one of the lands. Yeah, just select the land pretty much at random. It might matter a little bit with like how Taiga overlaps with blue sources, but whatever. Well, opponent taking the land go position against me. No respect. Bobbled yourself, fetched because you don't like it. Brainstorm, I'm not going to fire off Red Blast on that. I'm not going to give Daze any value. We're going to fetch. And the Channeler. And a Bobble. Channeler is rageful already. Swarming with rage. I'd love to draw a land, so I don't have to worry about that. Ponder. I believe I want to basic island ponder. Okay, I found another land. And another plow. And another blue blast. This is all good stuff. Don't shuffle, and then just gonna pass. I can take 3 and then just have a shitload of answers to various creatures. In for 3. There's Hex. I think I have to push into Daze here. Don't really want to. Swords of Plowshares is also the top card of my deck. I could Swords to Plowshares in response, clear the board, and that, but Endurance can jack this thing up. All right, I'm gonna get Tropical Island here and try to Hydroblast. If they daze this, it's one less daze for an Endurance, and if this resolves, I know Endurance is good. All right, cool. It just happened. I need to fetch Taiga here. They would have protected that with daze if they could. There's no universe. Endurance, clear the graveyard, slow down the Murktide, brick the DRC. Iteration, go for it. Kept their card on top. Pyroblast in exile. That's not a good one. And you could cast it for the Surveil if you want, if you got nothing better to do with your mana. But you probably want to Mystic Sanctuary your EI back this turn. Yeah, so that was just Anticipate, which I'm always happy with. The Ponder here. Blue Blast, Plow. I'm already holding a Plow. I will put the Blue Blast in my hand. Do I want to race? I think I want to chill. I can counter a Hex. I can counter a Murktide. I can answer a board. Dragon's Rage Channeler is not a problem as long as Endurance is around. Throwing Swords to Plowshares. Don't mind having two of those available. Is it time for Mystic Sanctuary? It is not. I like the cards on top of the deck more than they like Mystic or Expressive Iteration. Ledger Shredder, huh? Sure. Endurance gets in front of that too. Do I know my top card? I pondered into Blue Blast. Yeah, I think it's a land. All right, I'm gonna get Savannah here. And I could get Mystic Sanctuary and pick up Ponder. That actually seems pretty good. I'm gonna Mystic Sanctuary a Ponder. They could go for a Pyroblast here, which will trigger a bunch of stuff. Sure. Is this a good use of Blue Blast? They milled Force of Will, kept their other card. Yeah, I can Blue Blast this. Lets you shred. I get my Ponder. Ooh. Fetchland, Field of the Dead. I actually like both of these. Brainstorm, Field of the Dead, Fetchland. Don't shuffle. Play the Fetchland. Pass the turn. I get to squat up behind this Endurance. And time to go for your EI. Yes, it is. Sure. Channeler. Trigger. Mill to land. Trigger. Mill to Pyroblast. Just going to clear out this Ledger Shredder. This thing can start poking at my Endurance in a way that turns on Lightning Bolt. Not really interested in that. Murktide Regent. Okay. I have two answers prepared for that one. I hope it's enough. Counter this creature. Oh, the DRCs have to attack. Get to chew up one of these. Let's see if Lightning Bolt is your last card. Can you get through this Endurance at all? Or am I just getting a free lunch? Oh, they're passing the turn. And now we are in the Field of the Dead. Brainstorm's my top card. I don't really want to shuffle that away. And if they can't take a card out of their graveyard, they're going to lose another DRC here. Brainstorm. Milling Brainstorm. Yeah, they're just like digging frantically for Murktide Regent. I guess Price of Progress, if that's a card in their deck, is a problem. Maybe don't have that card, please. Bobble. Milling Bobble. Bobbling me. Seeing Brainstorm. Iteration. Okay. It never stops. Milling land. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I can go to 1 and then die to DRC if they Price of Progress. Because I can fetch, fail to find. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plow up to 14. Ugh. Alright, just don't have Price of Progress in your deck. How about that? Alright, we're getting another lunch off the DRC. Lightning Bolt the Endurance. Alright, you can finish that off. I'm not going to fight over that. Like, I could plow the Channeler and keep my Endurance. I don't think that's important, though. Another Channeler. Okay. I'm drawing Brainstorm. Love to find an Uro here. Another Plow. Another Brainstorm. I don't really want this land. And I do want the plow, but how badly? I could just fetch. Yeah, I'm gonna push this tap out turn while I can. I think I want Savannah here. There's a different land name. It's a Brainstorm. Come on, Uro. Endurance. That's good too. I do still have my land drop, but I'd rather protect Endurance with Pyroblast. Can I do that? Yeah, I have enough. I can attack with my zombie, telegraph the Endurance, but if they block, what are you going to do? No block. Good stuff. I am going to Endurance right now on my main phase before they get to untap and do stuff. Put your graveyard away. Slow down the next Murktide. It's really Price or Progress is the card I'm worried about. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. If I can get them to 10, it's not that bad. Then another Channeler. Land can get them 3 card types in the graveyard. So Plowshares on top. Attack with my zombies. And the attack with Endurance means Price of Progress is a draw. I think I got a way to turn. We're gonna fetch. What is this? Brazen Borrower? Okay, that's really clever. Now if I counter this, okay, they have Delirium anyway. Built. Yeah, that was really good. My top card is a land. I'm just gonna let this happen. Sure, you killed my zombies, you got me. Endurance still holding back these DRCs. Double blocking in case I have an Endurance. Clever. Sure. I don't. You're good. My top card is Tundra. They're gonna have to clear the graveyard or lose a Channeler here. Phase in the graveyard. Left a card on top. It can only be Murktide or Price of Progress, or some answer to Endurance. Please be Murktide. Okay, it is Murktide. That resolves. I can kill that whenever. Is Plow or... Yeah, I think Plow's better. Pyroblast can just hit more things in their deck, include like protecting my own action spells. Oh no! They had both. This is how the trophy ends. Fuck. Alright, well. Couldn't find an Uro. I tried. Sorry, Spunky. I know you hate losing to Delver. I guess I could have just let them counter my Ponder 100 turns ago and then just hold up Blue Blast the whole game if I had planned correctly for Price of Progress. And they also saw their whole deck before I saw an Uro, which, I mean, it's what they do, but also unfortunate. I did see a lot of cards that game, and Uro wasn't one of them. Yeah, there's not much more analysis I can offer than that. It was just when the turn that I fought over my Ponder, I could have just not fetched for the Mystic Sanctuary there. I could have let them Pyroblast my Ponder, holding up the Blue Blast forever. But I didn't do either of those things. And I fought over the Ponder to try to find Uro to shut the door before Price of Progress matters, but they found their probably one of Price of Progress before I found any of my 3 Uros off of Ponder, Brainstorm, Brainstorm over the next turn cycle. And that's magic. I don't know what to tell you. Delver's really good. Well, this league, I would call this a success. It sucks that we missed the trophy, but we played against a bunch of different decks. We saw the strength of Life from the Loam. Like the one of Life from the Loam carried this league pretty hard, as it tends to do. I'm not sure you need 3 Narsets in this deck if you have all the expressive iterations. Like my original build of Loam Bant had a very light red splash, and I played 1 expressive iteration just because I had room. But if you have 3 of them and 3 red sources, Narset looks a lot worse because she does a lot of the heavy lifting, and maybe you just want something a little lower to the ground or interacts with the board better. And Narset's obviously great in the spots where she's great, but yeah, I'm trying to think of what card I would even put there, and I'm not gonna lie, it's like 12:32 in the morning right now. It's like after midnight, and I'm pretty tired. So I can't think of what I would replace the Narset with. It could even be a second Teferi if we want to be this like board control kind of thing, where once Teferi's in play, most games get really easy. That lets your Minsc and Boo resolve. You could also main deck another Endurance. You could just put the Field of the Dead in the main deck. You could put Supreme Verdict in that spot. There's a lot of stuff you can do there. And I wouldn't play less than 2 Narset, but I think the third is the flex slot here. You could also split the Minsc and Boo with the Field of the Dead and go 1-1 on Minsc and Boo and Field of the Dead in the main deck. That's where I'm going to leave this one. Spunky, thank you for inspiring this take on 4-color control. We're going to see a lot of different versions of this in Legacy moving forward. And this one felt pretty good. This feels like it's close to a good recipe. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon and all the other links that support the channel, and I'll see you next time.